Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Suzanne with Arvabelle, and this video is a collab with Kevin and Eliza over from their channel Adventures and Us. So a few of you have sent me messages recently asking about managing money in relationships, and they are going to be answering your questions. Be sure to head over to their channel to subscribe. They upload stock market related videos every few days. You can take a look inside of Kevin's investing portfolio, and you can follow their journeys to financial independence.
Hey, thanks for the introduction. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Eliza.
And we talk about stock investing and the FIRE movement. And we talk together about how we can invest our money to retire early.
In this video specifically, we're going to be talking about how we manage our finances as a couple. There's so many tips and tricks that the internet gives as to how to manage your finances, but we're going to tell you what has worked for us as a couple.
So the first one is going to be talking about your finances. Now this one seems simple and it's very obvious, but it's very difficult to do. And at first, it's going to be a super uncomfortable talk that couples would rather talk about their weight than their actual finances or their savings. But overall, somebody does have to bring it up.
And that's exactly what Kevin did. He just kind of brought it up one day and asked if I was comfortable talking about my finance. And I didn't really see why not. I was a recent grad working 2 minimum wage jobs to pay my loans and my bills and to use the rest of the money to fund my travel and whatever other fun stuff that I like to do.
And the important part here is not to judge. I knew that we were both students that graduated, we have debt, we gotta accept our past, and just basically plan for the future and what we have. The key here is not to judge your expenses or their expenses. You're working as a team.
For example, when I first met Kevin, I loved going up and down the West Coast from Vancouver, BC to LA to chase concerts. Shout out to any K-pop fans out there. And this wasn't cheap. I was probably spending like a couple $100 every other month to make this experience possible. On the other hand, Kevin usually likes to do stuff that's more local in your backyard, stuff that's more free and more affordable than flying down to California. But the important thing is neither of us judged each other's lifestyles.
The reason why we don't judge each other is because you gotta be aware, even though you're in the same relationship, you're still two different people living two lives. So now that we have the expenses from both people in the relationship, that leads us to our second point. Come up with individual goals and relationship goals and make a financial plan.
Like I said earlier, I was working 2 minimum wage jobs to pay my car loans, my student loans, and regular bills, while also spending several $100s every other month to go to concerts. But I also had this dream of course, starting a family, buying a home, and continuing to live in the city that I grew up in.
With so many dreams and aspirations, I stopped and I asked her, did you have any financial plans or what was your outlook 5-10 years from now? And again, there's no judgment here. You're both at this point trying to get on the same exact page.
That's why it's important for you to have your own financial plan as an individual, and when you eventually end up in a relationship, having a plan for your similar goals as a couple.
So knowing that information, I knew that she wanted kids, wanted a home, and she was going to grad school, so nothing was a surprise to me when she brought it up.
So after Kevin gave me all this insight, I knew what I had to do. I had to make some sort of financial change. And that brings us to our next point. Find ways to manage your finances in a way that you enjoy. For me, that was making a budget list. At first, I didn't really feel in control of my finances and managing my debt because the first budget sheet I was using was kind of rudimentary. Because I didn't like the layout, it made continuing to budget and making that a habit really difficult. So I let Kevin know what kind of budget sheet I was looking for. And he used his skills as a computer science major to code one for both of us that worked. Not only were we able to see how we were doing with our finances individually, we were also able to compare our finances. This allowed both of us to be more transparent and communicative, like right in point 1, about our finances. And overall, it helped us to be more mindful about where our money was going.
I, on the other hand, love shoving everything on a credit card. So I would allow myself a certain amount every month to spend, but it would be spent on my credit card. So I know the total monetary amount for that month. And after every month, I would always pay it off. But we keep our accounts separate so I can tell what I'm spending. Which brings us to our next point. Basically, we don't have combined accounts.
It's not like we're hiding anything from each other. It's just we don't really see the need to. We're both more than comfortable showing each other our bank accounts, but having one that's together kind of leads to some ambiguity. For example, Kevin and I make different amounts of money per month. If we were to combine our accounts, we wouldn't know how much money we're spending in relationship to the actual amount of money we make. We would just see a bigger number than we normally see when our accounts are separate, and psychologically, we probably would end up spending more money. In the past, we have considered opening a joint account for us to deposit funds into so that we would have travel money. But like I said, that wasn't an immediate need for both of us. Like I said, right now, both of us are just more concerned about continuing to manage our finances and save money for the future. But traveling is still something in the books.
So on to our next point, being transparent about your finances.
Since Kevin and I started communicating more about our finances, we found ourselves talking about our spending either every day or at least once a week. Sometimes after work, Kevin will tell me that he ate out for lunch, or sometimes every other day I'll tell him I had bubble tea. Once we start identifying what we've spent our money on, then we both raise the question of, why did I spend money on it? The practice of being reflective when it comes to spending your money helps you see where you can make improvements. Having another person's perspective can really be helpful in managing your finances. Because while you're over here being emotional about, I really want this, I really have to have this, your partner can put you into check and ask, is that something you really need, or can you live without it? So overall, being transparent as a couple when talking about our finances has helped us see what improvements and gains we've made, and also where maybe we could cut back.
And this transparency is key because it kind of helps you reevaluate your plans. We're all humans, so every once in a while we'll go out and eat for lunch.
Welcome to McDonald's. What can you start with?
Can I get one McChicken, just the sandwich? This is expensive.
Inflation, yo.
Or we might get bubble tea. But this transparency helps us fix our monthly plan that's always kind of moving or changing. But there are some things in our budget that we don't really want to stop doing. We agreed that date nights are important and we still want to keep having them. Which brings us to our next point. You gotta treat yourself.
In the words of Kevin, we still want to continue dating even while we're trying to save money. Just because you're trying to be frugal and manage your finances doesn't mean you have to skimp out on dates. Occasionally, Kevin and I will have a date night out on the town when we have little achievements at work or when we want to celebrate an anniversary. For these little date nights, we like to find bargains or deals. For example, we'll look on Groupon to see if they have something for the place that we're interested in going to, or we'll simply compare and contrast restaurants or hotels for wherever we're traveling. I personally love going through Facebook and looking at all the events every month to see what's local and sometimes free. That way we're saving money, discovering little things in our area, and saving money on gas. Overall, having access to so many events in our areas gives us opportunities and experiences we probably would have never had. Besides these little events and date nights, we just love doing free things. I mean, who doesn't like free things? If you're wondering what free things people can do nowadays, we like going to parks, walking around different neighborhoods or other cities just to see what's there. During these walks and during our downtime is usually where we talk about how our day's been and where we catch up about our finances. So as you can see, all these tips go hand in hand. Well, what do I mean? Well, let's recap it. First, you have to be comfortable just talking about your finances. Once you both can start opening up about how much you have and how much you spend and what your spending habits are, then you can start identifying goals you have as an individual and as a couple. Once you get the ball rolling, then you can identify ways that you like to manage your finance. For some people, it's making a budget list. For some people, it's couponing. Just like Kevin, maybe you like putting it all on a card to see the total at the end of the month. Just do what works for you as an individual and both of you as a couple. The important thing is that both of you are transparent about your finances and that you're communicating about where that money is going. As you continue to be more transparent, you'll see how budgeting can help you be more conscious in how you consume things. Just remember, we not only budget and manage our finances to save money, We also do it to have money for each other. It's easy to lose track of that and get so caught up in all the numbers, but it's important to remember you're human too. So don't lose yourself in the number. The point of budgeting in the first place was to have a transparent and communicative and trustful relationship. After all, financial hardship and lack of transparency is one of the top things that affects and can destroy a relationship. In the end, money is just a tool that allows us to meet our basic needs.
But if you're interested in our journey and how we invest in the markets to find financial freedom, head on over to Adventures in Us. But thanks for having us on the channel. And as always, peace out. See you in the next video.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button if you want to see more collabs, and remember to head over to Adventures in Us to subscribe and to watch the video that I made over there. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.